No one dares remind an adult of their stupidity when they were a baby. Welcome to section 21 and not 29, like I said at the end of the previous episode. Don't mind me. Mm. Maybe maybe 1 and 9 sound alike. So instead of saying 1, I said 9. So, welcome to section 21 of section of welcome to section 21 of chapter 2 of the Holy Quran. It begins with sign 168. Namshi. Ya ayuhan nas. Ya ayuhan nas. O ye people. Kulu mimma fil ardi. Kulu mimma fil ardi. Halalan tayyiban. Kulu ma fil ardi. Halalan tayyiban. O ye people, eat of what is on earth, ma fil ardi. Halalan tayyiban, lawful and good. So anything that is lawful and good, do not starve yourself or do not prevent yourself from eating halalan tayyiban. Wala tatabi'u hudwat. ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان. And do not follow the footsteps. Do not follow the footsteps of Satan. Do not follow لا تتبعوا خطوات the footsteps of Satan. شيطان. إنه لكم عدو. إنه لكم عدو مبين. إنه لكم عدو مبين. For he is to you an avowed enemy. He vowed it right from the time of Adam to be man's enemy and to disturb man. Note 169. Note 169. It's against anything that is lawful and good. Instead of following the footsteps of our ancestors, this is not good for you, that is not good for you, that's and whatnot. This practice is not good for you. So 169 is against that. We now come to the regulations about food. First, into brackets, 2168 to 167. And we yet to read, we are on 168 now. So, first, we have an appeal to all people. Ya ayuhan nas, to all people. Muslims, pagans, as well as the people of the book. So you see, the Quran has come for everybody. Here it is, Ya ayuhal muslimun, or Ya ayuhal ahli kitab, or Ya ayuhal nasara. That's Muslims, Jews, and Christians. It didn't say any of them. It just said, Ya ayuhan nas. Oh, people. So, semicolon. Then, in in Science 172 to 173, to the Muslims. Okay. So, I suppose there it says, Ya ayuhan lazina amanu, or Ya ayuhan muslimin. Let's see. Ya ayuhan lazina amanu for 172. And 173, what does it say? Yes, the prohibitions here are on dead meat and whatnot. This is for Muslims too. Okay, so then to the Muslims especially, yeah. Then then into brackets, chapter 2, 172 to 173, to the Muslims especially. Then chapter 2, 174 to 76, to the sort of men who then, as some do now, who then, into brackets, as some do now, either believe in too much formalism or believe in no restrictions at all. So three categories: mm, to people, to Muslims, and then to a mixture of them, if you like, mm, or no restrictions at all. Full stop. Uh, no restrictions at all. Islam follows the golden mean. Islam follows the golden mean. Uh, gold, golden is starts with capital G, and mean starts with capital M, and the mean is spelled MEAN. So Islam follows the golden mean. Full stop. All well-regulated societies, well-regulated is hyphenated. All well-regulated societies lay down reasonable limitations. Note the word reasonable. Mm. These become incumbent on all loyal members of any given society and show what is lawful in that society. The word lawful is in double inverted commas, full stop. But if the limitations are reasonable as they should be, the lawful will also coincide more and more with what is good. Yes. So, for instance, eating dead meat is no good. What is good, rather, is eating fresh eating meat alive, mm, that has been slaughtered with the pronunciation of God's name. Mm. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. Mm. Uh, more and more with what is good. And the word good here is also in double inverted commas. Okay, good is even explained. Good even explained here. Then we come to paragraph. Good, uh, colon, and that means tayyib. And tayyib equals mathematical sign as usual, equals, and tayyib equals pure, clean, wholesome, nourishing, pleasing to the taste, pleasing to the taste. And of course, it pleases to the eye and nose before it pleases the taste. You look at it, you love it, you smell it, oh, fine, give it, tayyib, and pleasing to the taste. Then, another paragraph. The general principle then would be, colon, what is lawful and what is good should be followed, mm, not what is evil or shameful or foisted on by false ascription to divine injunctions, or what rests merely on the usage of ancestors, even though the ancestors were ignorant or foolish. Mm. So let me spell the word foisted for you. Uh, 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 not not what is evil or shameful or foisted. Foisted is Foisted. Foisted. Uh, where did we get it? Ignorant or foolish. That's where we stopped. An example of a shameful custom would be that among the pagan Arabs of taking congealed blood and eating it fried. Of taking congealed blood and eating it fried. I remember when I was young, small boy, the people used to tie blood in the intestines of animals and cook it. And we loved it, we cherished it. The adults were not eating it. Maybe they knew they shouldn't take blood. We didn't know. Mm. The meat sellers, they didn't throw away the blood. I don't know why. Rather, they put it in the intestines of the animal, tie on both sides, and cook it well, well. And I tell you, we don't mind children. Oh, we will consume it with alacrity. All right. uh, I think that's all for the sign 169. No, for the note 169. Yes, for the note 169 to sign 168. Hmm. Now, to the note 169 to sign 168. Now we proceed to sign 169. Hmm. Hmm. إنما إنما يأمركم بالسوء إنما يأمركم بالسوء وفحشاء وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون. For he commands you, eh, تأمركم, oh يأمركم, sorry. For he commands you, يأمركم, إنما for يأمركم, for he commands you, بسوء, what is evil, وفحشاء, and shameful, وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون, and that ye should say of God what you should say of God that which, so that of which ye have no knowledge, that of which ye have no knowledge. No sign to read, or no note to read, I'm sorry, no note to read. We proceed to sign 170. We proceed to sign 170, which doesn't have a note either. وإذا قيل لهم اتبعوا ما أنزل الله قالوا okay وإذا قيل لهم اتبعوا ما أنزل الله, when it is said to them, colon, then double inverted commas, follow what God hath revealed. Follow what God hath revealed. This is all in double inverted commas. اتبعوا ما أنزل الله قالوا بل نتبع ما ألقينا عليه آباءنا. They say, then in double inverted commas, nay, apostrophe, we shall follow the ways of our fathers. Mhm. Bal, bal natabi'u, we shall follow ma alkaina alayhi aba'ana. Uh, we shall follow the ways of our fathers. Mhm. Alkaina here is not explained, but maybe what is left for us by our fathers aba'ana. ولو كان آباؤهم ولو كان آباءهم لا يأكلون شيئا. I think it's a question. What? Even though their fathers were void of wisdom and guidance? لو كان آباؤهم لا يأكلون شيئا ولا يهتدون and guidance. I left يهتدون guidance. Then what? Exclamation mark follows. Even though their fathers were void of wisdom and guidance, but they didn't know their fathers, what their fathers were doing was not wisdom. They did not follow wisdom and guidance. They didn't know. Hmm? And they won't believe the one who is bringing them wisdom and guidance. So that's the irony of it. Okay, like I said before, there is no note to read. We now go to sign 171. ومثل الذين كفروا كمثل الذين ينكئ بها ينكئ بما لا يسمع ينكئ بما لا يسمع إلا. But let's leave the إلا now for now. The parable مثل the parable of those who reject faith الذين كفروا is as if one were to shout like a he goat. كمثل الذي ينئك بما لا يسمعون إلا دعاء إلا دعاء. The parable of those who believe, the parable of those who reject faith is as if one were to shout like a he goat to things that listen to nothing. La yasma shay'an, that listen to nothing, but calls and cries. Illa du'a'an, but calls and cries. Illa du'a'an. Wa du'a'an wa nida'an. So du'a'an wa nida'an. Du'a'an wa nida'an. Calls and cries. Nida'an cries. Nida'an cries. Summu bukmun umyun فهم لا يعقلون. Summun, deaf. Summu, deaf. Bukmun, dumb. Wa umyun, and blind. Deaf, dumb, and blind. Summu, bukmun, umyun. Fahum la yakilun. And blind, they are void of wisdom. For whom la yakilun, they are void of wisdom. There are two notes there. 170 against Christ. Against Christ and what did I read first? Except calls and cries. Calls and cries. That's 170 is against that. Du'a'un wa nida'un, calls and cries. Then 71 is against blind. Umyun. Umyun. So let's go to 170 against Christ. Nida'an. If you reject all faith, the highest wisdom, and the most salutary regulations are lost on you. Full stop. You are like dumb driven cattle. You are like dumb driven cattle, all in inverted commas. Dumb driven cattle in commas. You are like dumb driven cattle who can merely hear calls but cannot distinguish intelligently between shades of meaning or subtle differences of values. 71, 71, 171, sorry, 171 against blind Umyun. 171. Compare uh, chapter 2, verse 18 or sign 18. We've gone past it. Compare 2:18, where we are told that the rejectors of faith are deaf, dumb, and blind. Summun, bukmun, wa umyun. So the same words are used in sign 18. Uh, they will not return to the path. They will not return to the path. Uh, in all inverted commas, from death to the path, all in double inverted commas. Here, the consequences of their not using their senses is that they have no wisdom. Full stop. In each context, there is just the appropriate deduction, and that's the end of note 171 to sign 171. Yes, to sign 171. Remember, it had two notes, 170 and 171. So we now go to 172, which has a note also 172. Mm. It's a repetition, more or less. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم ما رزقناكم. Let's stop there. O ye who believe, eat of the good things that we have provided for you. طيبات, good things which we have provided for you. واشكروا الله واشكروا لله إن كنتم إياه واشكروا لله إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. Iskuru, be grateful or thankful. Okay, let me start again. O ye who believe, eat of the good things that we have provided for you, and be grateful, Ishkuru, to God, Lillahi, if it is Him ye worship. In kuntum ilayhu ta'budun. In kuntum ilayhu ta'budun. Ilayhu, to Him. If it is Him ye worship. Note 172 is against worship. Gratitude for God's gifts is one form of worship. Gratitude for God's gifts is one form of worship. You get up in the morning and you say, Alhamdulillah, Allazi ahyana. Thanks to God who has brought us back to life. Any little thing, you say, Alhamdulillah. You are grateful. So gratitude for God's gifts is one form of worship. It's a form of worship because you remember Him. Mm, mm. Iskuru Allah, yaskuruhum. Remember God, He will remember you. And that was note 172 to sign 173. Let's go to sign note 172 to sign 172. Let us go to sign 173. Looks like it talks about prohibiting. prohi- prohibiting things. إنما حرم عليكم الميتة. إنما حرم عليكم الميتة. He hath only forbidden you dead meat. Reasonable, isn't it? An animal may die of poison, and you go and take it, and you die. Yes, it has happened several times, and it will still happen because of long throat. Nigerians will say long throat. The throat is so long. Animal is dead somewhere. You go and pick it. You think you've got some cheap nourishment. You go and feel it, take it, and you kaput yourself. Pardon me for using the word kaput. إنما حرم عليكم الميتة. Al-Maitatan, dead meat, wa adamma and blood, wa damma and blood, wa lamal hanjir and flesh of swine, lamal and the hanjir, and sorry, wa lamal al han, did I say hanjir? Wa lamal hani, hanizir, hanizir, wa lamal, sorry, wa lamal Hinzir, walamal hinzir, and flesh of swan, lamal hinzir, and flesh of one. Wama uhulla bihi legeril lie, and that of which any other name had been invoked besides that of God. People are doing it. God says we shouldn't take life. Is there in Christianity? If we are compelled to take life because it's lawful for us to eat or to do, we must invoke equally the name of God who gave the life. Reasonable, isn't it? Righteous, isn't it? You just don't get the animal, ship, cut off the head, and give it to innocent people like us to eat, or sell it to innocent people like us to eat. However, the righteous will still pronounce the name of God before eating. Mm. Bismillah, we pronounce the name Bismillah wa ala barakatillah. In the name of God, with the blessings of God. Mm. Even though you don't know how it was killed, you've still pronounced the name of God on it. That should have been done even before the killing. Mm. Okay, so, and the flesh of son, and that on which any other name had been invoked besides that of God. There is a note to read, 174, 174, but we haven't finished yet. But if one is forced by necessity without willful obedience, nor transgression due to limits, then is he guiltless. ومن اضطر ومن اضطر بغير الإثم بغير الله ومن اضطر بغير ومن اضطر بغير الباء sorry ومن اضطر بغير الباء ولا ولا عاد فلا إثم عليهم ومن اضطر بغير الباء ولا عاد فلا إثم عليه. Uh, but if one is forced by necessary, ومن اضطر بغير الباغي is forced by necessary without willful disobedience, بغير الباغي without willful disobedience, بغير الباغي ولا عاد nor transgressing due limits, nor adding. In other words, you are forced by circumstances, and you are not transgressing limits of the law. Wala adin. Yes, wala adin. Wala ithma. عليهم فلا إثم عليهم فلا إثم عليهم not transgress the limits, then is he guiltless. La ithma alayhim. Then is he guiltless. There is no sin on him. In other words, mm, uh, Inna Allah gafurun rahim. Inna Allah gafurun rahim. For God is oft forgiven, most merciful. Inna Allah gafurun rahim. Most forgiven, most merciful, oft forgiven, most merciful. Note 173 against dead meat, meitatan, against dead meat, meitatan, against dead meat, meitatan. 173 dead meat, colon, meitatan, colon, dead meat, colon, meitatan, colon, carry on, colon, dead meat, colon, meitatan, colon, carry on. Colon. Carrion is spelled Carrion. Meditate. Animal that dies of itself. Animal that dies of itself. You remember Ebola and decades back, a decade or so back, Ebola. Due to dead meat, we got this disease, Ebola. Okay. Animal that dies of itself. Colon. The original Arab has a slightly wider meaning given to it in fiqh, religious law. Mm. The original Arabic, sorry, I'm sorry. The original Arabic has a slightly wider meaning given to it in fiqh. Fiqh is spelled Fikh. In other words, fiqh in fiqh into brackets religious law. So fiqh in Arabic means religious law. Colon. Mm. Anything that dies of itself and is not expressly killed by food and is not expressly killed for food, with a takbir due with a takbir due pronounce on it. Then repeat it. Anything that dies itself and is not expressly killed for food with a takbir duly pronounced on it. The takbir means Akbar, Allahu Akbar, before you slaughter it sharply, gently but sharply and quickly, very quickly, sharply, without causing much pain to it. With that, with with the takbir duly pronounced on it. Full stop. But there are exceptions, e.g., fish, water game, e.g., fish and locusts or lawful, e.g., fish and locusts are lawful, though they have not been made specially halal with the takbir. So there's no way you can make the takbir on fish or locusts before eating them. Before you realize that you're already dead even. But before you eat, you pronounce the name of God, like I said before. And that is note 173 to sign 173 to sign 173. There is a second note which is 174. The second note being 174. It's against Bigirillahi. It begins against Bigirillahi without pronouncing the name of God. Mm. For prohibited foods, foods, compare also Quran 5, 3 to 4. I think that's Ma'idah. Quran 4, Quran 5, 3 to 4. And 5 here is V. So let me rather use that. Quran V signs 3 to 4. Then Quran 6 VI sign 121. Then 138 to 146 of Quran 6 VI, etc. Mm. So for prohibited foods, these prohibited foods are there mentioned there in the various in the uh, quotations that I have read to you. Mm. The teachers of fiqh, into brackets again, religious law. So fiqh means religious law. The teachers of fiqh work out the details with great elaboration. Full stop. My purpose is to present general principles, not technical details. Mm. Carrion or dead meat. Some of us have forgotten the word carrion. Mm. So carrion means dead meat. And for people who are in my shoe, mm, we never use it. So carrion or dead meat and blood as articles of food would obviously cause disgust to any refined person. I mentioned it before. You look at it, if it's nice looking at, and then uh, has good smell, mm, uh, disgust to any refined person. Full stop. So would swine's flesh, where the swine live on offal. So would swine's flesh, where the swine live on offal, where the swine live on offal. Offal is spelled Offal. We know what swines eat. Pigs can eat anything dairy they can eat, except where they are, uh, except in animal husbandry, where they are taken care of, mm, right from birth. But even then, there is still a question mark. You look at them, look at the swine, you know, and you see that it can eat the offal if given the chance. It can swallow a baby if given the chance, anything at all. So offal here is Offal. Mm. Where the swine lives, where the swine live on offal. Swine is plural here. Mm. Where swine are fed artificially on clean food, the objections remain. Even if you feed them in the farm, the objections still remain because naturally, by instinct, like I said, they will eat whatever comes their way. Mm. It is God who has placed that uh, kind of thing in their mind. Mm. Still remains. One, that they are filthy animals in other respects. That they are filthy animals in other respects. And the flesh of filthy of and the flesh of filthy animals taken as food affects the eater. The flesh of filthy animals taken as food affects the eater. Two, the swine's flesh has more fat than muscle building material. The swine's flesh has more fat than muscle building material. Muscle building is hyphenated, and material after material we have colon. And three, that it is more liable to disease than other kinds of meat. Semicolon, e.g., trichinosis, e.g., e.g., trichinosis, characterized by hair-like worms in the muscular tissue. Yes, it's something that is peculiar to swine or to pigs. Generally, they have worms. My Nigerian brothers would say worms. Eh? Okay. Uh, Let me spell trichinosis for you. Mm. Trichinosis, Trichinosis. Characterized by hair-like worms in the muscular tissue. Full stop. As to food dedicated to idols or false gods, As to food dedicated to idols or food gods or false gods, it is obviously and seemingly, sorry, it is obviously and seemly for the children of unity to partake of it. For the children of unity to partake of it. Mm. Well, viewers, you can guess what children of unity means. And that was the second note 174 to sign 173. I don't know how far we are from section 22. 173. We're on section 21. I can't see section 22. Let's see. We are on section 21, sign 173. I'm not seeing section 22 yet. I go straight to sign section 23. Let me see. Oh, section 22 is there. It begins with sign 177. I don't know if, oh, I think we should stop because it's a bit further. We might use 1 hour or so. Okay, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77. Five signs. Hmm. Uh, okay, viewers, I think it's wise to stop here so that when we come back, we go to sign 174 to the end. 174, 175, 176, 177. Four signs before the end of section 21. Thank you very much. Illa lakai. Bye bye. Au revoir. May God be with you all.